Mango Mustache Media.
What is up, Chicanos? Welcome to another episode of Chicano Chingon, presented by Hacienda Las Glorias, a Mango Mustache original. I'm your host, NellMari.
I'm your other host, Arturo.
We're joined with our producer, Alex Schulte, and today we have a special guest with us, introducing our new friend, Chapis. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
So happy to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and we actually met at the Cedar Rapids Latino Festival. It was a blast. If you went, if you missed it, go to the next one. It was great. You can see us there again. But yeah, welcome to the show. We are in for an interesting episode. It could be, I think, for our culture and our community, it could be a little
taboo.
Yeah, a little bit. But you know what? I feel like we're gonna have an interesting conversation. So I'm excited and I'm ready for it. So let's get right in with
Right into the word of the day.
the word of the day. Learning time. The word of the day is polyamor. Can you say polyamor?
Poliamor.
Good
How's that?
job. One more time, say polyamor.
Poliamor.
Thank you, Arturo. Did you say it, dear listener / viewer? Did you say the word? I really hope you did, because it'd be disappointing if you didn't. Anyways, so polyamor in English means polyamory. But how do we define that, Arturo? Because I think even in English, not a lot of people know what that word is.
Best way to define it is it's the practice of engaging in multiple consensual relationships at the same time. And yeah, you have to focus on the fact that, like, non-toxic communication.
All parties
are consenting.
Yeah.
It's almost like everybody's signed a contract in a way.
Right. Not to be confused with cheating on your partner and not telling them about it. It's just everybody knows about it. There's no surprises. It's a conversation. And I feel like Chapis has a lot more to say on it. I was going to ask you, is that the way you would define it? Would you go by that definition, or do you have a better one?
I would say that's like the dictionary definition,
Yeah.
but it's definitely like based on like romantic relationships. Like there are people who like kind of bring it into their platonic relationships, which is like family or like friendships, which I mean, we're all polyamorous at that point because we have many friends, right? We have many like families that we love. But like polyamorous defines like with the romantic relationships. And where you say well, there's no surprises, sometimes there'd be surprises.
Oh, yeah, I bet. I feel like you would hope for the most part there's none, but yeah, I mean,
you can only hope for like the good surprises, though.
Yeah.
right. I think it goes with any relationship, though. You hope for the best. Not even monogamous ones aren't always
Literally
solid. So
it's pretty much just that. Like, if it's gonna be this way in like a monogamous relationship, you have to think about it like times two, because you have like almost not necessarily two monogamous relationships, but like you have two connections.
you gotta split your time and energy and your feelings. Have you? So, for lack of better words, is this like? Have you been in multiple polyamorous relationships, or is this something you've been doing for a while, or is this newer to you, or? What's your experience?
It's kind of crazy. Me and my husband just jumped into it. So I got married when I was 16 and I had my oldest when I was 17. So it's like so I got married when I was 16, but I got with my husband when we were 15. And we were like really religious back then. But since I met him, I used to be like super reserved and whatever. And since I met him, I like opened up a lot more. And so like the can of worms open, and I was like, yeah, actually, I do like girls too. And he was like, cool. I mean, like, what guy's not gonna say that's cool? Like, some guys don't,
but most guys are
like, cool,
nice,
as long as I can be a part of it too. And so I was like, bet. But it didn't get like that until we were married. Like when we were just dating, we always just had really good communication. And I was like, if you ever have interest in somebody else, like I would like to know. That way I could be like, I can think about what I need to do to be better. so that way your attention doesn't go elsewhere. And he was like, same. So that's how we started to be like open communication, literally.
Yeah.
And then we were married is when I was like, okay, I do like girls for sure. Wait, I think I already had told him when we weren't married, but like we were already living together and stuff. So I was like, oh, I do. And then like 2 months later, I had a girlfriend. And he wasn't involved in it, but it's still that's still like a dynamic of polyamory.
Yeah.
It's more just like you call it like the V, like where they're not connected and only like I'm the only connection.
Okay. It's not like everybody has to be dating. Okay.
So there's so many different types of polyamory. Like polyamory, you would say is like the spectrum, and then there's like a bunch of different types in it. And then we didn't even know there was a word for it. Because before I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do I balance this? And I'm like, and I haven't even came out to the world yet. Like, oh my gosh. And now I'm married and then I'm going to come out. Like, what?
Yeah.
Until I had a friend that like in the moment she was my friend. But like years later, we did end up trying to like being something. But she's the one that she came back from Ecuador. She used to be like an exchange student. Güerita, but she went to go to Ecuador for like a year. She came back and she was like, oh my gosh, like I figured it out. You're polyamorous. I'm like, what is that? And this was already like years practicing it, like maybe 5 years already practicing it.
Oh, okay.
And not knowing that there was a name to it.
Yeah.
And then so I looked it up and I was like, this girl,
she was right.
there's a word for it?
Well, a lot of people, I think they like to think of that one show with the like Sister Wives. I think it is.
Yeah.
That one guy that has 5 wives or whatever.
And it's actually, and I only recently, I was getting confused with the two. I'm like, I know there's a difference, but what's the difference? And I think that's polygamy.
Yep.
Yeah, when they're all one person's married to a bunch of people. Yeah, I think my mom watches Sister Wives. She watches a lot of reality.
When he was born, my oldest, so I was already like 2 or 3 years into the relationship. I was really into Sister Wives, but I didn't like their dynamic because I realized that that's not my dynamic.
Yeah, because there was kind of like, I can't speak for all of them, but from the ones I saw, there was kind of like a power dynamic. The husband's in charge, and they're all pleasing the husband.
Yeah, because he technically is polyamorous because he was involved in loving multiple women at once. But the women aren't, even though they're all in a polyamorous type of situation.
Right.
And so like the women, they just love each other like aunts, like sisters, right? And they just share a man. It works, whatever. Which I think I can see people like that too. Like, okay, maybe like just because I'm into girls doesn't mean I'm gonna be into every girl. So like I wouldn't mind if you guys click, whatever. But like in the moment, I didn't like it because like what you said, like the power dynamic, and then it's like I'm more dominant, and so that it like irked me a lot, and I was like, oh, like why does he get to say what it is or what it's not? But I'm like, hey,
watching,
it works.
you have to sit back. Do you think has there ever been people who like assume that about your relationship, that it's like your husband in charge? And
they've thought like, oh, I bet, especially because I've done YouTube for a long time, so like I've had certain relationships that I've brought onto my channel, like certain vlogs, or I would do like Q&As, and they would always say like, oh, he's just doing it, or he's being manipulative just so he could get 2 girls. And I was like, for all you guys know, it's my idea.
Actually, I'm in charge.
I want it. Well, like yes and no, because I also like, okay, like, not that I want to be in charge, but I do like to have like, I'm the one that brings the girl in.
Yeah, it's your idea, so
yeah. But I am very about like, I wouldn't even say equal. I'm very like equitable.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like we all need what we need, because not every person, like let's say, like how he's drinking squirt. Me and you want water. We don't want squirt right now.
Yeah,
but
right.
what does that mean? He needs to have water.
He
now,
needs
he's
to
unhappy.
squirt, though.
Well, I had a whole bottle of water before this, but
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, it's a need for him.
See, exactly. See, so that's why it's equitable, because it's like, okay, maybe water did it for him at one point.
So you're keeping the balance, though. Yeah. You're getting everybody their drinks that they need. Yeah. I like that, though. I can respect that, because I think a lot of people kind of assume that there's no way that a polyamorous relationship can be as healthy as a monogamous one, but it's really like the same issues.
Literally.
Yeah, but just, I don't know, expressed slightly differently.
It could be extra. That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah.
Like, I've had certain relationships. The way I say it is that it really depends on who you bring into the relationship. Not only the base of the relationship, so like if there's a couple already established, that needs to be good because once you bring
Absolutely.
somebody else in, it gets shaky.
Yeah, I
Like-
imagine like jealousy is kind of inevitable.
Yeah,
like
that
it's
because
just how
of
you deal
insecurity.
with it. Yeah,
Speaking from experience, I've been in a couple of. I don't have a good track record, I'll say, but you need to have like a really solid foundation. Communication needs to be so open, and especially because jealousy is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to acknowledge that and ask yourself like,
Yeah.
where is this coming from? And a lot of self-reflection is a huge part
Yes.
of the deal.
Yes.
you don't have to answer this question, but is that kind of what ruined those relationships for you? Lacking that foundation or the
Lacking foundation for sure, and trust.
oh,
For sure.
okay.
Because like one of the things with those relationships is like, everything's up front, or at least that's the expectation.
Yeah.
So like you're like, yeah, this is happening, and this person knows about it, and they're okay with it. If that's not happening, then like the trust is gone already.
Oh, and not everybody's
Yeah.
expressing.
Yeah,
their
not
feeling.
everybody's expressing, and then if you try to bring somebody into the relationship after that, then
There's
it's
already
like,
a lot of insecurity. So
There's
now
already a lot
you're
of
always
insecurity.
thinking about what they're doing behind your back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely, like what he was saying, like it depends on like what you guys have established as like the foundation and then the person coming in. Because sometimes the person coming in could even like heal those things that
Oh,
like
yeah.
never get into a relationship for that reason. A polyamorous relationship, do not do it because it
not
can
gonna fix
end
it.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't. But like,
And I think you can apply that to most relationships. You shouldn't get into any hoping
Yes,
somebody will
if
heal
you're
you
not
or
healed,
fix you. Yeah.
Don't get a
Exactly.
dog. Don't have a kid. If you
Yeah,
if you
oh
hope
my
that
God.
it's gonna solve the
This will
relationship.
change
Literally.
me. This will
Absolutely.
save me.
yes.
No, that's funny.
That like, literally though, like don't add into anything to fill a void if you cannot fill the void yourself.
Absolutely.
Like we gotta fill our own voids because
Yeah.
now you're just using somebody.
Right. And I think people say different variations. They're like, oh, you got to love yourself first. You got to do this first. And I think everybody kind of like takes it in one ear and like out the other. Because when I was younger, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But I never actually considered
Yeah.
it. Like it wasn't until I got a little more like self-confidence that my relationships were working a lot better. Because I wasn't depending on another
Yes.
person to make me feel better or constantly worrying about if we're working out or not. Yeah.
So I was gonna say about trust. So you said about trust, like it's about trust and it's about knowing yourself, right? So I've realized throughout the years of being polyamorous, I think has been so much like of an eye opener of who I am because now I gotta deal with my own issues because it'll come out more since jealousy and insecurities come out more. But you can't blame the partners because everybody
Yeah.
can be going through it. So you're like, okay, how do I? Because I already said I was cool with it, but now I'm feeling some type of way. So where do I have to heal myself? But then I go to trust too, and I see trust so differently now, and I see it more as like you can't put your trust in one person because there's a lot of responsibility to put in one person to trust them. And then it's like, oh, well, you should have known because I trusted you. No, sometimes we're human. We slip up. I'm not saying
Yeah.
to sleep with people,
Right.
but I mean like anything. I mean, literally like general.
You can't, if they fuck up, you can't let that just kind of crumble.
Yeah, you
everything for
can.
you. Yeah.
Like,
No,
and
I know
then
what you mean.
it'll be harder for you to heal if you do. So I just learned how to like set my perspective differently, and I think of it as like trusting the process rather than trusting the person because like he could be going through something that I'm not aware of, and that's why he slipped up, and now he's like, "Fudge, I messed up, and now I really like don't know how to fix this." But that's why you trust the process. Me and my husband been through so much stuff, and it's like that's kind of how I learned it, because it's like, let's say when you're in the moment, like I don't know, especially the first times going around, I don't know what I'm okay with until I go through it.
Yeah.
And he didn't know that, but I'm over here pissed at him, like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do this? And then he felt so bad because he made me feel some type of way.
Oh, yeah.
And I
it's,
was like-
it's hard not to like, it's kind of hard to, acknowledge that while your emotions are valid, that it's not somebody else's fault. That's like something that it kind of takes practice.
Without gaslighting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. it takes a lot of experience and I think maturity to be able to, identify and acknowledge the feelings you're feeling and why, and, why it's not, on somebody else.
It's definitely like a reflection of who you are, and you really, really got to look at yourself instead of keep blaming so-and-so partner. It's like, how can you really blame the girl for coming in of how you feel if you're the one that brought her in? She don't know what she's doing there.
Right. She thinks everything's fine. She's just hanging out.
Yeah, and then you're freaking, how you say, flipping a bomb on her because she's like, oh shoot, I thought it was all good and gravy, and now this is happening because things
there's those like hidden emotions that don't bubble up until a little later,
or like until certain situations that you haven't dealt with yet, or too. It could be like how you've been feeling around like the same week. Maybe you're just not having a good week. Yeah. Maybe you're like, we're on our period. Freaking one of my relationships I was pregnant. And man, I remember I was so emotional when I was done being pregnant. I was like, I am so sorry. Like, I swear I'm not like that. Now you get to meet me for real.
I know people like that too. Yeah, they're like, I'm a new person now. I'm sorry. Like, because
it's like when we're on our period. It's just like for 9 months.
Yeah. Right. Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine
the same
that.
Emotions. Yeah.
Instability with emotions. That sounds.
It sucks.
I think that's how I found out my mom was pregnant, because she like lost her mind about something and she like was throwing shit, and she came back. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm pregnant. I wasn't supposed to react like that. And I felt really bad actually. I'm like, you're going through it. I get it.
But like certain situations like that too, like somebody could be dealing with something in their family. Somebody could just had a bad day at work and now they feel a little less secure with themselves. Yeah. And so now something happens that they're normally okay with, it's going to feel even stronger because they're not at their full frequency.
Yeah, and that's how you get resentment building up. That's I guess, and that's how that's why, polyamorous and monogamous relationships, it's like another reason why they're so similar. It's just, it all comes back down to communication.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you kind of need that in any relationship.
For real. Yeah. And so like now I see like monogamy, like the generalized version, as toxic.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like when somebody, like let's say you go into a relationship, right? You go into boyfriend, girlfriend. There's always expectations with just putting the title. And then nobody talks about it. So most of the time you get hurt. Like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Like, you were liking too many girls' pictures. You were doing this, or you looked at her a certain way. You shouldn't have done that because you're my boyfriend. But it's like, but did you ever talk about it?
Yeah, you kind of need to talk about your expectations before you jump into things,
But that's not what we're taught. Yeah. We're not taught to talk about it. We're just taught the regulations.
Like, this is how things go. This is what's going to happen when we get old enough to try it out. Yeah. We're all just kind of following the same. Yeah.
The nuclear family expectation, I think, it's what's drilled in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
Like, you have the wife or, the husband, the white picket fence, the golden retriever, a couple kids, then you'll have a 50-year anniversary, and then you're dead.
And we're already messed up there because we're Latinos. We have a lot of kids.
Oh, my God, yeah. we're already failing the nuclear family template kind of thing. Too many kids.
Too many kids. There's no white picket fence. It's all colored. It's all, like, mine is all... with crayons and chalk, or like
it's not a golden retriever.
We living over here. We got 2 pit bulls.
I was gonna say it's probably a pit bull.
A little pizzazz on it. Yeah. You got to do something with it.
It's the flavor. We
got the sazon.
I was gonna say that. I said exactly what I was gonna say. That's so funny. I was also gonna ask you, other than what we kind of already gone over, are there any other misconceptions that are kind of common that people have, or things that kind of irk you when you're just talking about your relationship or hearing people talking about polyamorous relationships?
I would say more as like being someone of the LGBT community. I remember, or actually it goes both ways. Yeah. So when guys find out that I'm polyamorous, they be like, oh, so you could be with other men? And I'm like, nah,
not
I'm
you.
Good. Like, because that's not my dynamic. That's not what I'm into.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so my husband necessarily got lucky because that's just not what I'm into. There's other women who do like both, and their men like literally tell them, oh, but no men. But now they're holding themselves back because they do want to be with other men too.
Yeah.
But just because their man's not okay with it, they're holding themselves back. So I'm like iffy about that boundary, because I'm like, you shouldn't have to hold yourself back just because he's insecure.
Yeah, and to me, it kind of invalidates your sexuality. You know? It's like they're saying, like, oh, it's not really real if you're with a woman, so don't go with a man.
Exactly. And then going to that, I remember when we like just me and my girl, like me and my ex, like either of them, we would go out and about. They would see that we were together, and then the guys would just be like, oh, can I have both of you? And we're just looking at each other like, what did you not understand? That this is my girl, okay? Or like they would try to talk to her or like vice versa.
Yeah.
And I'd be like unvalidating the relationship just because we were two girls.
Yeah, they're just treating it like, oh, this isn't real. This is like,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's gross.
I'm more like, my masculine side comes out more, so I started getting more defensive, and I'd be like, bro, like, what you think you have that I don't? Like, okay, maybe you do, but I could buy one. What color you want? What size? Anything. Like, batteries, no battery.
We can do what you do and customize it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, try me. Bet. So who's better now?
That's all you gotta do when you're fighting with a guy too. Just drop bro and dude, and then they know you're like,
No, for real.
Yeah.
For real. My husband be like, I'm not your bro. And I'll be like, I was just talking.
I'm just
My
talking.
bad.
That's what like my girlfriend. I call her dude and bro and all this, and now like I've started to infect her vocabulary. So she calls me bro. She calls me dude. She said because we say brother. What are you doing? She said, brother, what are you doing? I'm like, don't call me your
That's cute,
brother,
but
bro.
that's weird because that's your like.
She just
my-
hears
that's my
you
girlfriend.
say. We
I'm
say
like-
it too much. That's why. Yeah.
It's hilarious though.
It
like
is fun.
having vocabulary be
especially when you say
like
in like
that.
the Hulk Hogan voice, like
brother.
yeah, like that. It's a habit. That's why she's picking up on it.
Yeah,
That's
I have
on
an
you.
infectious
It's catchy.
vocabulary out here.
Yeah.
I think that's also from being Hispanic. Is like we have a lot of slogans, right? And we have a lot
Yeah.
of things like kind of like meme culture.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that. Like
Yeah, there's like sayings and things that like people say in Spanish, and you need all this info from like things
Yeah.
prior. Like, oh, it's actually referring to this, the inside joke. I don't know how to explain it, but trying to think of an example.
Well, the catchphrases I think of that come to mind are like no mames. That's like
no manches.
no manches, no
The
mames.
PG-13 version.
I got my boyfriend saying that too, because we say no mames all the time. So now he's like, no mames. And all my
Oh,
coworkers
so
like,
cute.
why are you teaching your boyfriend that? I'm like, I don't know. He just
It just
picks up on
happens.
shit.
They're like,
Yeah.
I weigh.
Yeah,
Or
right.
like the title of this podcast.
Chingon.
Chicano?
Yeah, I use
Yeah.
Chingon for like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, or like one thing I was talking with my sister about, I'm like, because I'm like really against talking to our kids like derogatory, like because
yeah.
that's so normalized in our culture.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like menso, and it's like ha ha he he, but at the back of your mind, you're like, "Ah."
Yeah, I know. It's hurtful. Like even if you know they're joking, sometimes like tone still matters, especially.
Yeah.
Especially in Spanish, like tone is everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's contextual. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And things
That
can
is
sound
true.
way more aggressive in Spanish too. I have to, like people hear me on the phone talking in Spanish, like, are you okay? Are you fighting? I'm like, no, we're just talking.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, this is good. This is like a good tone. You just can't
For
tell.
real.
We're just getting loud.
Yeah, we're just getting loud. That's
Yeah.
something we do.
It's just a Latino thing.
Yeah, for real.
But speaking of Latinos, how was it with your family?
Like coming out to them.
Yeah.
So it actually came out online as I was getting out of my religion. Like I used to be really, really religious, but I kept questioning everything. I'm like, nobody has the answers. So I don't know if this is it. I don't know if this is for me. So that's when I like actually like started to accept myself, because I didn't even accept myself. I kept feeling I was wrong. I was guilty, like always just having this guilty conscience. And then when I started learning more about like spirituality and stuff, was when I started to accept myself. And then so I got the courage to like come out, and I came out on YouTube. So I'm like, oh, all my family's gonna see it. And they didn't really like comment to me or anything. They all went to my grandma. And we're like, oh, you know, your daughter or your granddaughter, this and this and that. You heard Chapis, this and this and that. And so I would talk to my grandma about it, and she's not that open, but at the same time, like with us, like my mom's kid, she is. But I think it's because like we always just like struck those thoughts in her more. And so
made
my
her
cousins, yeah. And so like my cousins, we're all millennials or like Gen Z. And so they were just like, oh, that's cool, mija. Like actually me and my girl, we be doing that too. We didn't know there was a word for it, or like we realized that we clicked on another level.
That's gotta feel so nice.
Yeah, it felt so good. And so that's another reason why I came out too, because it's like I want to show people that this is real, and like maybe somebody else feels like this now. So before it was on YouTube, I only found like 2 or 3 other like thruples or polyamorous couples. Now you see them everywhere. So I'm glad I'm like one of the first.
Yeah, you started it. I see a lot of like I see a lot more shorts now. You know, because when you go on YouTube Shorts or Reels or whatever it's called, you see like people doing like little skits and whatever. I see a lot of like polyamorous couples doing stuff like that too.
Yeah, you can see them on TikTok.
TikTok
too.
especially. Yeah, there's a couple on there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the poly couple. They're pretty funny. But
oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah, that's what they're called. They like, I don't know if they actually are having relationships with other people, but like they do little story boards with it.
Oh,
it's pretty interesting. Yeah, but
I think I know. I think that's probably the one I was talking about. And they do like skits and
it's
stuff,
like
right?
Dana and the Wolf or whatever. I don't remember.
I
Like,
could not
like his last name is Wolf.
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell you names. The Wolf.
That's the username.
Maybe.
Got me worried. I was like, what are we? Are we talking about something else?
Well, that's
We're not talking about furries, are we?
Well, like that's my idea when it comes to polyamory, because you talked about like coming out and telling people about it. I know, like the first time I didn't like tell anybody. I mean, I think I told you.
Yeah.
But like everybody found out at the same time, which I posted on my Snapchat or my Instagram.
Oh yeah, you just dropped a photo.
I dropped the bomb, and everyone was like,
I love that.
"Oh shit, okay." And with that
Not
came
one but two.
well, like everybody like was like, "Oh man, you're just out here. You're doing it. You're killing it. You're
the guys."
Yeah, and
Yep.
I'm like that's not it, dude. Like that's like the biggest thing that irks me is like
A lady killer.
men look at it like I've acquired some trophy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, no, there's 2 times the work now. And
Yeah, and it's
like,
hard.
It's hard, but like
Being the only man, my husband has told me, like it sometimes it even gets more emotional because like you being the guy, you think that you think it's like corn, right? And you think they're gonna be like dun da da da, okay, we're coming, right? But it's not. And that's like a real like buzzkill, isn't it?
well, like I mean, sexual things aside, like I never really had any expectations for things like that. I'm just here because I'm like, yo, I happen to love these 2 people, and if they love each other, that's even better. Because I had been in the V before, where like I was with somebody, and then and then like my past relationship is the one that I'm not amazing about, which is there wasn't any communication, so it was the V, and then the person thought that it was supposed to be a triangle, and then everyone's confused, and now everyone's mad, so then it all just blows up.
Yeah.
But with that, like, even after that, somebody's like, "Oh man, you broke up with her. You still got her back up, though." I'm like,
"Oh, that's
like,
so
dude,
sad."
like,
I know, I hate that too.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's just disappointing to hear guys look at it that way. Or I'm like,
it is because they're only thinking about it in that aspect, but not emotionally, and that's why I say like it's a buzzkill because like. That was like what I was saying is kind of like the physical standpoint, but it's also like that, like if the 2 girls are cuddling and you realize they don't want to cuddle with you, or like not that they don't want to, but it's just not the time right now, or like.
Well, even then, like I don't want to cuddle all the time, but like she might want to cuddle, so then she can fill that need.
Right.
Like the biggest thing with it is like I don't give my girlfriend all the responsibility of catering to my needs. Yeah, so we have 2 people, and I mean if that's what's going on, we have 2 people, and. Maybe we go with this person on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, whatever. And, you can divide it up like that. I mean, it's a contract, and it's what everybody agrees to.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to put it.
And sometimes the agreement changes, realizing like, hey, I actually really enjoy doing that, but I don't enjoy doing this. Like, is there like, how can we like figure this out type of thing?
Yeah, like those sit-down like meetings, I feel like were happening often. Maybe not often enough, but like
I think in my
essential.
past relationship, we needed more. She did not like the meetings.
Oh, really?
So it was very confusing because it was like always one-sided or like hearsay. So it got very confusing real quick. Or like he would want to do the meetings, but I was already so mad at him. Like we were just really going through it. And I was mad at him, and I'm like, I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear what you have to say. But because me and him were going through certain things, and me and her were going through certain things, they were going through certain things, so that everything was like really like off,
Yeah, and nobody's really addressing it all at once. And
or like, how can we make this better? It was more like I was the mediator. Trying to be like, okay, how can you guys do better? How could you guys do better? But nobody's worrying about how I could do better with each of you either. You know,
absolutely.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's exactly how the first one went. Yeah,
see,
like you're the one that needs to self-regulate yourself. and nobody's checking on you. No one's like,
It
this is what
drove
you
me
can do.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I think at the time too, I was angry on your behalf because I was watching everything, and I had nothing against your guys' relationship or like the concept of what you're doing. The thing that made me mad was a lot of times it sounded like, you know, I would hear about like, oh yeah, I just want to make sure they're both comfortable. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page, everybody's happy and whatever. And I could see you like when, you know, problems are arising, you were the only one trying to fix it. You were trying to communicate.
Absolutely.
And then,
It was like I was trying to hold two people together. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yes,
if you guys didn't
but-
want it, just say that.
and I also,
was-
I also
yes.
knew you were going through a hard time in your life at the time. So this was already like a lot on top of what you had mentally and emotionally. So I'd be pissed off. I'm like, who the fuck's checking in on Arturo? I'm like, watching this. I'm like, what is this? So,
For real.
Yeah. So I remember, just getting angry watching all that. And yeah.
There was times that they would literally like fight over me. Okay, not like physically, but like I would sleep in the middle, and if I had my hand over here and my hand over here, oh, now my hand's getting thrown off because my hand's over here too. Or oh, you just gave me your leg. Or why aren't you looking at me? You're looking at her. Or why don't you? I'm only one person. I'm just
trying
like, why
to live
can't we
comfortably.
all like just be cool?
Yeah.
That would help.
Yeah.
Say that, or
Love it.
like it's the silent, like just anger while like
The
someone's-
energy?
Yeah, you're like, I can tell you're mad, but you don't want to say anything. So like,
Yeah.
what do you expect me to do?
Oh,
right
I hate
now?
that feeling.
So like
Trying to figure it
I
out.
gotta read your mind.
So from my last polyamorous relationship, I feel like I'm healing so much from that.
Yeah.
Because it was, I wouldn't even say just like the whole polyamorous relationship dynamic. I would say like the person coming in was a lot less stable than I thought.
Oh,
And
okay.
a lot of can of worms got opened up all the time. And it was me always trying to fix things, which I shouldn't have done. I'm a fixer and I'm healing from that.
Well, I mean, you care a lot. And I think that's a good quality to have, you know? I
Yeah.
think that's admirable.
It's like the potential. I was definitely like thinking about the potential of like what we could be and like the empire that we could build and like
Yeah, I was in the same headspace, and I'm like, it's hard to fall in love with potential when you really should just be kind of where it's at. That's where I was.
Yeah.
And like my past poly relationship, I was just like, it was cool, but like right now, I'm exhausted, and I'm gonna. I mean, if anything like that ever were to pop up, then it would pop up on its own, and I'm not gonna go out and
Yes.
search for it.
Or
But
just let it come naturally.
yeah, come
that's
naturally.
exactly how I feel.
Because I don't want to force my girlfriend to do anything. You know, if those questions arise on their own, then we'll sort it out when it comes up. But I'm happy with my relationship as it is.
You reminded me of what we were talking about earlier, and I don't know if there's like right or wrong answer to this. So I was hoping maybe you had an opinion. If you were previously in poly relationships but you're currently monogamous, and whether you intend on staying that way or you don't, would you still call yourself poly, or would you call yourself just monogamous? What do you
Still
think?
call myself polyamorous because of my mindset.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my
Okay.
mindset.
See, that
and
makes sense.
I don't think I could ever be monogamous. I'm not even gonna lie because I just see the toxicity out of it, and I do just like to like not have a limit. Like I want to have a choice.
Yeah, and I think, you know, depending on the person too, I think for you got more out of the polyamorous relationship. I mean, aside from all the little
Yeah.
shitstorm, you know, that
Yeah.
aside, I feel like the way you described it, it sounded, I don't know, it sounded really nice.
Yeah.
You guys made me think of things I never would have considered, like sharing a bed. I would be awful.
We have a big bed.
Oh yeah, I squirm in my sleep, and I get like really.
I don't want to even like. I've accidentally like punched people. Like I go like this.
I've been last week. Apparently, I've been punching my boyfriend in his, elbowing him in the face
the
on the regular.
face?
Yeah, and he'll just wake up.
You
and
should
he's so
strap your-
confused.
I'll say this sounds bad or like not bad, but like rated R. I'll say you should strap yourself to the bed.
Well, that's the problem.
Or get
I
a straight
can't-
jacket.
I just can't
There you
sleep.
go.
I'm like, I get very
Be a
sensitive.
burrito.
I can't do that. Well, because like it's weird. I don't explain it, but everything gets hypersensitive. So like if I'm laying and there's something touching my collarbone or my neck, I hate it. I'm like, no, and I have to like sometimes I just gotta hold my neck. Or if there's fabric like touching my armpit or something, that was weird. But I gotta like
Yeah.
sleep with my hand in my armpit like this.
Oh,
so
yeah.
sometimes my boyfriend's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just trying
You're
to get comfortable."
overstimulated.
Yeah, I get overstimulated very easily. So if I was in
To
a
be
poly
an extra
relationship,
person?
they would hate me. Yeah, like nobody's getting any sleep. I'm
Well-
not getting
Oh
sleep.
my
Nobody's
goodness.
getting sleep.
When it comes to sleeping, I can't touch anybody because I heat up like
Oh yeah.
I just start sweating like crazy. I'm like, I don't know where this is all coming from. I don't even have a blanket on me. Like Windows are open.
So do I, but I still want to cuddle. So like I'm trying to cuddle my boyfriend, but then I'm also trying to get comfortable. And
Just
he's
put
like
the fan on like you only so you could cuddle.
yeah, you're so right. I gotta get a better
Or
shelf.
give him one of those heated blankets. So that way he's warm and you could be cold.
Well, he says I'm a little
it.
heater. He's like, I want to lay with you, but you're way too hot. Like I can't handle it.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, I know. We've been new. Thank you.
like she'll like my girlfriend will fall asleep on me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna heat up, so I need to like find a way to like scoot her off of me or like throw her over there, give her a blanket, and let her go to bed.
I'm like that, but not with the temperature. Like I like cuddling to sleep, but as I'm starting to like get into like the sleep, I need to move. I need to get comfortable.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm the worst at falling asleep. I can't get comfortable, or maybe I'm comfortable for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And he's holding me, and this is nice, and then I'm like, fuck, there's hair on my neck, and then it's all ruined. Yeah.
I get
like I have that one itch. Damn it.
Yeah.
For real.
He's so patient. I love my boyfriend. I put him through so much at night.
So, being that, since you were saying, I don't know if you would be interested in a polyamorous relationship. If you were, would you want multiple men or multiple women?
Honestly, I think it's something when I was younger I considered, and I don't think it's something that I want to do now. Not that I'm against the idea. I just think for me, I don't think it's for me, but if it were, I would probably want like a girlfriend because I am bi, and there's certain things that you do get from male or female relationships that are different from the other, and I would just like the experience of both. I think that would be very nice. So, I like in a perfect world, everything would come naturally. Whatever. I'm not picking a partner, but if I could pick, I would like it to be a girl. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I had another question for you, but I forgot about it already.
Well, I can answer the same question that you gave her. We've talked about like both genders. I'm not totally like to hell with men, like get out of here. But like I really find it hard to see my girlfriend with another man. But it's not totally out of the picture. Like if it works out, then it works out. Cool. But I'm not looking for it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I like to think about is like for my girlfriend, I know that there's things that I'm probably not aware of. Like for example, periods.
Yeah.
I mean, like I can help you. I can bring you pads, tampons, whatever. But like there's a limit.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the two
Don't tell
girls,
me
like,
everything.
like you guys can figure it out, and I'll be supportive in any way I can. But that's it.
Until they sync up.
Until they sync up.
Oh my gosh. When we would sync up, it was like we broke up every time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't say because of me, because even though I'm like, and this isn't me not taking accountability. It was just me realizing it's not me. So like even when I'm on my period, I like get emotional stuff, but I don't go like overboard. Like I'm not too extra, or like I notice it's because I'm on my period.
Yeah.
But then when I was in the relationship with a girl, she would always get mad even more, and so I was even more emotional because now you're mad at me, and now you're emotional, and I'm like I don't know how to feel. So she was always calling it off. And I'm like fine then.
You're just both making it worse for you.
2 days later, we were like, okay, that was dumb.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it is for most girls. Like everything makes sense and everything's pissing you off, and everybody just doesn't understand. In a few days, they're just like, oh fuck, I was PMSing.
Yeah,
like my bad. I usually do that. Every time.
If we want to get like to the intimate levels, now you can't be with both of them. Now you have to wait a whole week for both of them.
But like, I'm totally okay with like giving it a minute. Like I can go whatever. Like it's not too big of a deal for me. But like for my girlfriend, it's a bigger deal for her. So I know that maybe somebody else can provide the things that I might not be able to do at the moment.
See, that's what I think about too, because there's hypersexual and there's like asexual, right?
Yeah.
And I would say I'm more on the like asexual side because I'm like sapio. So like asexual, there you go, where it's a spectrum. You got like sapiosexual, you got demisexual, you got like
sexuality, it's all a spectrum. It all kind of like overlaps and blends together, which is nice.
So like demisexual and sapiosexual, they're like a part of asexuality. Which demisexual is like the connection, like you have to have the connection to even desire, like like to actually get intimate. Because maybe you might desire it, but to actually do it, like it'll be off, right? And then A sapiosexual is like, you gotta stimulate my mind. Sure, sometimes you don't even have to stimulate me physically as long as you stimulate my mind. And so I like say I'm both of those, like demi and sapio. And so then I'm like, my husband's like hypersexual. So there was times where it'd be a really rough patch because I didn't understand that, like, I thought it was a women thing, that we were just all like this. But then we were with a girl who was like hypersexual like him. So I was like, why are you doing that? Like you don't have to do that. Like, just because he wants it doesn't mean you have to do it. And then I realized, like, oh, it's just because that's her drive. That's just how she is. And before, I would get mad. I was pregnant. I would get mad because I didn't understand until I would give myself that time to, like, process it. And then him, too, I used to get mad at him because I'm like, don't you realize, like, I actually need to be, like, into these girls. I just can't hook up with them. Like, I wish I could just swing around and do it. Like, because that's what it's called, swingers.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a relationship. Like
Just
multiple.
couples that go. Yeah.
It's like swingers. I'm like,
hearing swing around though is just kind of funny, guys.
It does. Helicopter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was like, I don't know if that's what she meant, but that's the visual
That
I
too,
got. Yeah.
right? I know I thought about it when I said it though.
Yeah.
I got you. But like, you know, there's times where I was like, damn, I wish I could be that type because I would have a lot less heartbreak.
Yeah.
But being polyamorous is harder because I do need my feelings involved.
Yeah.
And I want to build something like strong. And sometimes the girls like aren't with it. But also they don't always know that they're not with it until they're in it. You know?
Oh yeah, because you don't really know.
You don't know what you like until you try it.
Yeah,
You know?
literally.
No, that makes
like
sense.
it might look good on the outside, but then you start like going into it and you're like, damn, this is a lot. And it is.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
And you kind of forget with both sex and romance how different it is for everybody. Yeah. Because like, I totally get what you're saying. I don't think like I'm not hating on like hookup culture, but
Right.
I don't think I could ever be a
Shoot,
part
I'm
of
not
it.
hating on it. I wish I could do it.
Yeah, right. But I can't find in myself to just find a person like that. Like I really
Yeah.
need to be into you personally. Like even with celebrities, like I don't even find them attractive until they
Oh
say
my
something
gosh.
like I don't know, charming. I don't know. Like I think
Yes.
they're like have a nice personality.
Yes,
Yeah.
like people will literally have like a crush, right? That's a celebrity. And I'm like, I don't know them yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
They
like, I
have
don't
like the
know.
hall pass thing.
Yeah,
It's like how do you know
That's
that they're
true.
supposed to be on there if you haven't met them before?
Right.
I gotta
Like-
watch podcasts or interviews, and then I'll have like a celebrity crush.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Like Tom Holland, I thought he was ugly at first when he was first like revealed to be Spider-Man and everything. But then I see him in interviews and like behind the scenes, I'm like, this man is so attractive. I get it now. Yeah.
That's what I think of Jessie Reyes. Like before, I was like, she alright. Girl, I'm about to put you on to so much people. Know the product, Jessie Reyes.
no. Let me look that up because that sounds familiar.
Jessie Reyes, she's like she has more of like a raspy voice. She's Colombian. And I was like, she's all right. Like, she's not ugly, but she all right. Until I started hearing her interviews. And I was like, damn, she's so fine to me. Like, her demeanor. There's my demisexual right there. Like, her demeanor, that connection I could potentially have.
I'm gonna check her out. But no, yeah, I totally get what you mean. Yeah, like or who is it? You know Florence and the Machine? The lead singer Florence Welch. How do I explain it? It's the way that she carries herself and the way she talks in interviews. I'm like, that's so attractive. She's just like so elegant, but really down to earth and cool. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what gets me, you know?
Yeah, the demeanor.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta see how you carry yourself, like how you move, how you talk, how you like
Exactly.
say certain things. Because now if you're too egotistical, you're ugly to me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how like ripped you are or whatever. Like you're not. Yeah, I just can't find it attractive.
And
yeah.
see, this is the hard part of being in the entertainment industry, because I'll like some of like people's music, right? But then once I meet them, like either in person, I'll just be like, ugh. Like I barely even like your music anymore because
I feel like that's kind of expected though in the entertainment industry because you're going into something where you kind of have to be like you're trying to blow yourself up. You kind of be important and big and whatever. So some people it goes to their heads and you get real disappointed.
They go up for sure.
Yeah, they invest in their own personality and then it just goes too
They already
much.
forgot what like persona that they were giving off. It's like, wait, I thought you were so and so. Never mind.
Yeah. Like, I thought you were like supposed to be like a hippie or something cool, and you're kind of just an asshole.
Yeah,
exactly.
like-
yeah.
That doesn't even make sense, though. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be kind of, you know.
Really,
Yeah.
it's definitely crazy, man. Actually, I just remembered in my intro that shout out to Tone that he did for me. He put it's like forget motivates me for my videos, and he goes, she's the poly wife that everybody likes. And I'm like, hey.
That's a
And
nice
I got
intro,
my
yeah.
friends. Because at that moment, I didn't have a girl anymore, but I have like pictures with my friends where they're like bending over in front of me. And I'm like, and so I have it in the little clip. And I'm just like, yeah, those are my straight
right.
girlfriends.
Your straight girlfriend. No, that is like, yeah, straight girl culture. You
Yeah.
get a little gay for each other. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but like, that's the part that is weird to me is like how straight girls can make out with their friends. I'm like, I could never, but I think it's because I'm into them.
Yeah,
Like,
oh my gosh, the anxiety, especially being in high school, like having straight girls like, you know, like flirt with you or like hit on you, and you're like, is this a test? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta, like, I don't know, I can't respond to this. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah,
I feel
it's like-
undercover almost. Yeah.
That's how it felt for real. Like, and I think that's why I didn't really have a lot of friends, like girlfriends in school because I didn't even know myself yet.
Yeah.
And like I always felt awkward like whenever like straight girls like hold hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would rather hold my homie's hand because they were my homies. And it's like I would be like, why don't we hold hands?
Yeah.
But then like they're straight guys, so they're gonna be like
Yeah, they, on some fruity stuff too.
Yeah.
Say on the flip side of that, the fruity stuff absolutely goes to locker room culture.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. And that always turned me off of playing any sport. Like, I never wanted to go and play sports. I was never really too close to the jocks, I guess. Like, these guys are just too comfortable being naked with each other, and they're just slapping ass, and I'm like, you know.
Dude, I'd be in the locker room
True.
and a girl comes to me, she's like, oh my God, look at my new bra. And she's showing me, and I'm like, I'm trying to look at my locker and nobody else. Like,
See, that's what the crazy part with me, and I think it's because I am like more on the asexual spectrum. Is like if girls want to be like, freaking, me and my friends have like flashed each other, like showed each other a bra or like their butt, and
Yeah.
I literally only think about it like that.
yeah, and that is how I feel about it. I think for me, the anxiety at the time was more of, because I've had experiences where I'd come out to my friends or something and they'd say something along the lines of like, oh, well, as long as you don't have a crush on me. Or like, oh, as long as you don't ever, like, we
I'm
can't
like,
change in front of
ew.
each other anymore. And so I had this anxiety, like, I don't want to make girls uncomfortable or think, like, make them
Yeah.
think I'm thinking this type of thing. Because I'm really not.
Yeah.
I want to experience the same experience all girls have with each other. Like, just being intimate and fine, you know.
Without being like you thinking that I feel romantically or sexual towards you.
Exactly. I'd always have this fear, like they're gonna think that that's what I'm thinking, but I'm not. And yeah, that was so stressful.
I've gotten that before. I felt that more towards like, if the church found out. Because we used to change in front of each other, like for like the Christmas play,
Yeah.
and I would just like always look down regardless, because it's like I respect people's boundaries,
Yeah.
no matter what. But I didn't want them like once they found out, now they don't want me in the room type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because that would have hurt so bad.
Yeah,
you know?
it really does hurt your feelings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little comments or just like stuff like that.
And it's like at the end of the day, I got sisters. I was from a single mom. My mom always walked around naked. Like that's normal,
right? Like
So
we're I want to do the girl things
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
the only time I'm like, ooh, is when I'm actually like into you, like
Yeah.
connect here and here.
Yeah,
and then I'll be
exactly.
like, ooh, it feels like it's something you've never seen before, even though we see it all the time.
Like, I'm not just checking out everybody. I'm
yeah.
picky.
Unless it really looks good.
Yeah.
Be like, oh shoot, that was a big booty actually right there.
That-
Real
you know,
you
that's
have to
fair.
real recognize real. You know, you have to go back to that.
yeah, you know.
But I mean, for me, when it came to, let's say, high school, for example, I didn't have a whole lot of guy friends in high school. There was a couple, but like for the most part, I tried to have some more girlfriends than anything. Not like, romantic relationships, like just a
Homies.
friend that I hang out with. Yeah. And one of the pressures of that was like, I don't want them to get the wrong impression that I'm here for more than just being friends.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things in high school, a lot of the guys, nudes and trading nudes was a thing. They did it
Oh,
like
yeah.
trading cards, and it was the
Oh, my
grossest thing to
goodness.
me because there was like guys that had like a safe app, You have a password, enter all your, and you can see all your pictures.
Oh my gosh.
So we'd be on the bus to go to play a soccer game somewhere, and they're like, "Yeah, look what I got. Look," I'm like, "This is the weirdest thing to me.
Goodness.
It's blowing my mind that people are just like."
That's so disrespectful, like as
Absolutely.
a human being.
It's breaking trust with things,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is just. It turns me off from wanting to be friends with anybody here. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll be friends with a girl. I'm like, NellMari is one of my best friends, if not my best friend. So I'm like, I know how to have a girlfriend like that I'm not attracted to. I mean, especially with my sister, but like, it's so weird to try to explain it to somebody, and they're like only looking at it like, it's a man. He's trying to get something out of this right now.
I feel like you lost a lot of trust in the guys your age growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So actually being polyamorous, I've actually like detected within myself of like just like the levels of platonic relationships I have, because I can love a platonic relationship just as much as a romantic relationship. The only really difference is like the butterflies or like wanting to be intimate or like affectionate with you. But even like I'm not that much of a, like I am more now of an affectionate person, but when I was growing up, I wasn't. But I've grown to like love certain platonic relationships where I could be somewhat more like affectionate.
Yeah.
Like with our hugs, or like I don't care if you touch me a little bit. Like usually I don't really like being touched if I don't know you.
Yeah.
And now I'm realizing it's because it's an energy transfer. Like I'm so empathetic. I felt that, and I just didn't want you to touch me.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's all about the people you surround yourself with. So yeah, the more intimate you get, the more, comfortable
The more
are
you
how-
don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you like their energy, so it's okay to be reciprocated. But to do like, other stuff, I just be like, nah. I just love them so much. Like, I want to squeeze your cheeks in like, not those cheeks. I just want to squeeze your cheeks and just love you and just like freaking build the brand together and just like
that's
keep,
like the purest friendship, It's just like hug and you want to protect your friend.
Yeah,
and,
like familiar,
Yeah.
It feels very like family, and it feels like very deep. But I have started to like depict some of my like friendships like that, like I might feel romantic for them even, but I don't like have sexual desire for them. And I'm like, that's so crazy. Like, I'm just realizing, like, there really is levels to, like, relationships in general.
Yeah.
Like, there might be people that, and I think it's an asexual thing, because asexuals, like, they could be so romantic with people, but they don't feel, like, sexually, like, intimate, or, like, they don't have that sexual desire with them.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's hard to think about that. There's, like, levels to it. It's not all just black and white, like, if you're asexual or not or whatever. It just depends on who you're vibing with.
And how you vibe with it.
Yeah.
And I think if more people knew that, there would be so much less jealousy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like for me, how I was saying about my husband is more hypersexual. I don't get that jealous or insecure, because I realize that's all he cares for in certain certain relationship of his. So sometimes when we have built relationships and I've realized that he started getting feelings, I would start feeling some type of way because it's different.
Yeah.
It's new. And I'd be like, oh, what is it? And I remember I was also pregnant. This is the same one that I was pregnant with. It was all like, there was just a lot of emotions coming to me at once. I didn't understand. And since she was hypersexual, they like, they had a lot in common that I just never had in common with. And then I felt like there was a point that I felt like we didn't work out because I was hindering their relationship. So there was like, we were still friends afterwards, and we tried like the friends with benefits and things afterwards, but then I realized I needed more. So that's when I started realizing that I couldn't just do that too. But I would tell her and be like, if you guys want to be a thing, I don't want to get in the middle of that. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, we could be sister wives, or whenever I desire that in that moment. Like, since I'm comfortable with you already, then I realized I could flow like that. But she was like, she had her own things going on. She was like, no, I just want to like live my own life, experience my own life. And now she's out in Vegas, and I still love her so much. Yeah. And it's like just those things. Like, everybody has different things that they want in life and out of relationships. But I that's also why I feel like I'm like the mediator and like the one that has to balance things out, because I never want to hinder something.
You want the best for everybody. And
Yes.
even
like-
if that means it's not you.
Yeah, and it makes me happy to make other people happy as long as I'm in the mix in some way. Like me and the girl could still be good friends. Like there was actually a situation where the girl didn't want to be my friend, and I was getting mad. I'm like, I'm pretty cool. Why don't you want to be my friend?
Yeah, what the hell?
Like,
Let me love you. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't even think of you like that. Like,
Right.
shoot, calm down first of all.
Can I ask, were you, what order are you in within your siblings?
I'm the second of my dad's, but I'm the middle of my mom. So my mom was the first wife, and there's 3, and then we're all girls. And then so I'm the second. But then there's like, if there's 8 of us, how many is below me?
So you're still technically a middle child. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So like a
I'm
mediator.
Middle child.
I'm
middle
raised
child?
as the middle child.
Yeah.
But then I'm
You're
like,
one of the older
yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
See,
in the
that's
same,
probably
with the same
what
position.
it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the middle child syndrome. Like, I have to feel like everybody is doing good. I was the mediator growing up, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the mediator too, and I was the mediator in some of those relationships I've been in.
I was the angry one.
The dictator.
Yeah. Well, I would get too heated too easily. So sometimes I'd be fighting with my parents or my other siblings, and Archer was just there like, can we all just
Yeah, that
Let's
was
just
me.
breathe. Let's take a second. Yeah.
can always count on Arturo. I think I have one more question for you. What do you wish people had more understanding over, or what is the thing you want to stress the most for people to understand when it comes to polyamory?
I would say that it's not all just about the sexual aspect, because a lot of it is like seen as like gross, especially like with people who are religious. Like, oh, why would you do that? Da 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 da. Also, too, because like we ended up having a baby out of our last relationship,
Oh yeah,
and
You
so
just said
like that stuff is hard, and it's like
that's a lot of emotional work.
People only look at that now and be like, oh, well, it's because you guys did this and this and this, so that's what you have to deal with. That's like your consequence. And I'm like, what? Like, I have a beautiful, like, little human being. How could you say, like, that's...
Yeah.
It's no different than a monogamous relationship. I mean,
Right.
there's single mothers and single fathers out there too.
Exactly.
It's-
Or, like, now how, like, we're doing our custody thing, it's like, it's just like having a stepmom. There's extra parents.
Yeah.
You know? It's just...
Yeah, a lot of
however-
people say like, yeah, how do you explain it to the kids? It's the same as explaining it to divorce,
Exactly.
like people about divorced parents.
Yeah.
And it's because they're only thinking of it in a perverse way. And that's
Yeah.
what I wish, like, people saw it more as an actual relationship instead of just that. Because I'm like, well, why are you thinking about what I'm doing in my room? Now you the pervert, because I wasn't even thinking that.
Yeah, exactly. You're worried about the wrong things.
Yeah.
I think it's important that people have a little more empathy for everyone, because at the end of the day, it's the same problems, just different relationships, you know? And the people judging probably got their own shit going on too in their own relationships.
Yeah, and
they're
that's why they're
projecting.
saying.
They're just projecting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So we all got to learn a little more empathy and love, and maybe read a book or something. Do a Google search before you start typing those comments or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Trying to start some toxic fires in
Yeah.
your, in
Or
your
you know what?
relationship.
Do it. The comments make the algorithm keep going.
Yeah.
We'll just keep it on null. You know, it's all good.
Keep
commenting.
interacting, you know? That's fine. Actually, I think yeah. Keep your bad comments. We need
If
more
you have comments on here, write them down below. Who knows? We might do it again, huh?
Yeah, let us know your thoughts. We
We'll
want
give
to
you
hear
some
all of
advice
them.
on it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I have 2 women, Arturo?
How do we get like Arturo, the lady killer?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I think that's a good note to wrap up on. Empathy and kindness.
Empathy, kindness,
Yes.
one love. Yeah.
Poliamor.
Polyamor.
Poliamor.
Keep loving.
Keep loving. Well, this has been Chicano Chingon, presented by Hacienda Las Glorias.
A Mango Mustache original.
Thank you, Arturo. We hope you guys take that lesson to heart with you. Maybe open your minds a little bit after watching this episode. If you like today's episode, remember we have a new one coming out every single Wednesday. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as a live episode on the last Saturday of every month at Hacienda Las Glorias on Center Point Road.
First Avenue.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Come get your margs. Come get maybe some tacos.
Yeah.
We had tacos last time.
But check our bio for any information what we might have missed. Check our bio to check out Chapis' socials and all her stuff. Follow her. She makes some cool content. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for checking in.
Hey, remember,
Stay
Stay
Chingon,
Chingon.
Chicanos.
back
Salud.
link with her. There we go.
Mango Mustache Media.